Hello everyone. So today we're going to be taking a look at this 2016 Ford Mustang GT. And today's review is taking place at Kirk Motors, situated in Omagh, County Tyrone. For all contact information regarding this dealership, please see the description box below. So in today's review, we'll be taking a look at the interior of the car. I'll explain how all the features work, also start up, look at the engine, go over the performance data and take a look around the exterior. So we're going to start reviewing the exterior of the car first. But first we're going to get the engine started. So the Mustang has completely keyless access, so just leave the key fob in my pocket. Just grab the handle and the door unlocks. It's completely frameless windows. Okay, so we're actually just going to leave the key fob in the car. We've got the engine start stop button located down here. Fires right up. So we'll power on the hazards, as well as the headlights and front and rear fog lamps. And both front windows are fully automatic. Alright, so this particular Mustang is finished here in race red. Now there are a few differences between the European and American spec Mustangs, one of which is down here at the headlights. So in the United States, this nice tri-bar layout is actually your LED run of daylights, but because of a few different laws and legislations in Europe, those are just reflectors. As you can see, it has the xenon headlights, and down there you got your fog lights and indicators. And also compared to the EcoBoost, this car also has a different grille, so it has these extra vertical slats, whereas the EcoBoost has a much simpler, more plain honeycomb grille. Well, this car looks absolutely amazing, especially at the front. Looks so aggressive, and especially when you look at the bonnet. You got all the different lines, and it just looks great. Has a very pronounced front end. Still looks just like a muscle car. And you even got the 5.0 badge on the front wings. And coming around to the side, the GT comes with these black 19-inch alloy wheels as standard, with 4-wheel ventilated steel disc brakes. It's also got 6-piston Brembo brake calipers up front. And it also has 4-wheel independent suspension, McPherson strut in the front with a multi-link setup in the rear, as well as a limited slip differential. And then coming around to the rear, we can see another difference between the European and the American spec Mustang GT, or Mustangs in general actually, the taillights. So here in Europe we get these clear taillights, whereas in America you get the red lens, and it will also have sequential indicators, whereas we just have the indicator on the outside light. And also the GT also has the GT badge in the rear, compared to the EcoBoost and the American spec V6, which we don't get here in Europe. And down at the bottom you got your rear fog light, as well as a painted rear diffuser. And you also got your third brake light located up there just by the roof. And the boot release for the Mustang is located just here above the license plate. And you can also see your reversing camera. So the Mustang has a decent sized boot, measures in at 408 litres. So you could probably use this as an everyday car. Lots of room in here, you could easily go to the shops and fill this car up with whatever average size items you may need. So it's pretty usable. And you also got a subwoofer located back here as well. But thankfully the subwoofer isn't really in the way, there's still plenty of actual boot space. And you also got additional cutout there in the left as well. Almost from every single angle, the Mustang looks absolutely fantastic. And there's so much heritage in this car as well. It's 53 years old, came out in 1964. I believe production started actually in March of 1964. And Ford have sold well over 9 million Mustangs since then. And there's just so much history, as I said, in this car. I mean, for this new model, it even brought back the Fastback name for this coupe model. And it even has the classic taillight design from the earlier Mustangs. And another thing, we actually just look inside the passenger half of the car, even got this nameplate, Mustang since 1964. So Ford really do want to remind you of the history and heritage behind this amazing car. And it's just great that now for the 6th generation we finally get it here in Europe in right-hand drive. I especially love the way this car looks from the front. Such a long big front end, huge grille, huge lines in the bonnet. It really does stand out from any other European sports car. So let's go ahead and hop inside. So we'll put up the window, turn off the lights and the hazards. We just got the Mustang nameplate located on the sill. We also have an electric driver's seat, and the passenger seat has electric controls as well. Full black leather with white stitching. Now unfortunately, because of engineering costs I believe it is, we don't get the option of the Recaro Sport seats here in Europe either, which is very unfortunate because they are very nice looking seats. And also, before I forget, there's actually a storage compartment located down here, so you press that to release it and it pulls out. Pretty good in size. So let's just go ahead and shut the car up. So this particular car has 2,946.3 miles on the clock so far, and as you can see, you got your trip computer screen there in the center, and you can also alter the trip computer screen as well, go to a variety of other screens and different settings using these controls here. For example, if I just push down, you can go to the second trip computer, your fuel economy, fuel history, average speed, and if I press left, you got all these different sub menus. For example, if I go into track apps, you have something called line lock. Now line lock is only available on the GT Mustang, and the idea is if you're going to the drag strip, it's kind of funny because I've never seen this feature in any other car, but if you're going to a drag strip, before you do a drag race with someone, you want to have a lot of heat in your tires, so you engage line lock and the car will hold the front brakes while you do a burnout to heat up the tires. So kind of a childish feature, but I've never seen it on any other car in my life. You also got your lap timer, your accelerometer as well, acceleration timer, brake performance, and so on. There's even a lap timer in there as well. And you got all your different settings as well. For example, my color, so you can change the color of the interior ambient lighting and so on. So we'll just go back into the main trip computer, and below that you got your automatic gear selector controls as well. And as you can see there in the gauge, it has revolutions per minute. So basic standard gauges, very easy to read, easy laid out. And this car also has a 3-spoke leather wrap multifunction steering wheel with electric power assisted steering. And you also got your cruise control located down here in the bottom left, your media controls off to the right, as well as your Bluetooth and voice command controls. Okay, so coming in here to the center, you got a very nice sized touchscreen, very easy to use. We'll actually just go ahead and check out the sound quality real quick. So pretty good, and you can certainly hear the subwoofer in the boot doing its job as well. So the new Ford Sync system, as I said, it's very nice and it's very easily laid out, and it's a very nice display. You got your 4 main screens, and of course this system is now found in all modern day Fords. So you got your phone on the top left, satellite navigation on the top right, and then the bottom left you have the sound. You also got your climate controls on the bottom right there as well. And as you can see, you can operate everything from there. And you also have the manual controls located down here. It also has heated and cooled seats on this particular Mustang. And then you got your home icon located down there in the center. And you got also many other displays such as your time and temperature, information, settings. So let's see, we'll go into the satellite navigation. So it's got a very nice display, very nice map, and you can also move around by drawing your finger as well. And you can also go to your points of interest, check out your traffic lists, and set your destination and waypoints from here. So it's a very nice system, very easy to use, very user friendly, not overly complicated. And if we go into the radio here, you've got your different stations to select from there: AM, FM, digital audio, CD, USB, Bluetooth, and if you have any music on an SD card. And then you got all your set stations, and you can go to your different options and menus for the sound system as well. And then coming down here, as I said, you got the standard climate controls. So if I actually just move the key out of the way here, you got a couple of other controls down here. So for example, you got mode. So if I click that, you go to your different driving modes here. So you got normal, sport plus, racetrack, and snow and wet. So we'll just put it back into normal mode. And you can also adjust the weight of your power steering from here as well. So normal, sport, and comfort. And then you also got your traction control as well as the hazard indicators. And I actually like the fact that they're laid out on these silver toggles. They could have just used normal buttons, but they decided to go for these toggles, which I think was a great idea because they look very nice and they feel nice as well. And this car has the shaker audio system. You got a tiny bit of storage down there, cigarette lighter and USB. And this car also has the 6-speed automatic transmission as well. And when you engage reverse, the backup camera comes on. And then in drive, you can change gears manually using the paddle shifters mounted on the back of the steering wheel. So we'll put it back into park. And you also got your cup holders here with very nice chrome surrounds, and also these are illuminated as well. Now obviously you'll see that much better at night, but you can also change the color of the interior ambient lighting, and when you do, it will change the color of these cup holders. As a matter of fact, if you guys watch my review of the previous generation Mustang GT that I reviewed in Canada, I done some footage of that car at night, and you can see the interior lighting change. You also got this removable ashtray, and the handbrake lever is located off to the passenger side as well. And you also got this very nice leather center-mounted armrest, good bit of storage as well, USB and SD card in there as well, and you also got this 12-volt power outlet. So nice deep storage cubby, very usable, and the seats themselves are very, very comfortable. Excellent side upholstering, as you can see they're also perforated in the center. So it's got such a lovely layout in this car. You also got the signature plate as well. 3 vents in the dash, so a lovely layout. And also the top of the dashboard as well is finished in this very nice soft touch leather, which is also stitched. So the interior quality of the Mustang has certainly changed from over the years. It's definitely a nice quality feel to this interior. Doesn't feel, you know, like previous Mustangs where there's a few cheap plastics all over the place. This here now feels like a proper quality sports car. You also got very nice silver trim going across the dash, as well as the chrome going around the air vent surrounds as well, and also around the gauges. Okay, so coming along to room in the back, if I actually just pull the lever and bring the seat back. Now on the passenger side I have a decent amount of legroom because I was able to move this seat forward a decent bit. As you can probably tell, headroom isn't that great. Your head is actually touching the top of the rear window. So anybody really buying a Mustang GT or anybody buying a two-door sports car like this in general is aware that back seat space is going to be very limited. So I don't have much in the way of headroom, but if you can convince the passenger in this seat to keep their seat forward a bit, you will get a decent amount of legroom out of it. And you also got a mat pocket in the back of each front seat. And whatever room there is back here, the actual seats themselves are actually very comfortable and soft. And you also got coat hooks mounted there on the B-pillars as well. Release is located on the passenger side footwell. The engine is a 5-litre Coyote V8. Now in right-hand drive models it produces 410 horsepower versus 435 in left-hand drive cars. The reason why is because the exhaust manifold is constrained by the steering shaft due to the right-hand drive conversion, so a smaller diameter was needed to clear the shaft, which caused the 20 horsepower deficit. It has a limited top speed of 155 miles per hour, but with the limiter removed it will hit 178. It also puts out 391 foot-pounds of torque in the right-hand drive car and 400 foot-pounds in the left-hand drive models. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, and it said this car can return about 23 miles to the gallon. Alright, so we're just going to finish up the review now, and I must say, even though I reviewed the Mustang EcoBoost before, getting in this car is just so exciting for me. I mean, I know these cars are extremely popular in America and you probably see them on every street corner, so you know, you get used to them and they're not such a big deal. But over here in Europe, especially here in Ireland, where cars like this are so expensive and, you know, hard to run compared to the United States, it's just amazing that we finally have the Ford Mustang, probably the most iconic muscle car in the world, over here in right-hand drive. And I must say, it is amazing. Now, I reviewed, as I said, the previous Mustang and I really liked that very much, but this one, everything just feels so much better. As I said, there's much more quality feel from it. It no longer feels like it's just been cheaply put together. It feels like a good quality item. Has a lovely interior, it's very well equipped, and outside this car looks absolutely magnificent in my opinion. So I have to say, I really do like this car, and obviously there's actually a facelifted version of this Mustang out now. So I'm still kind of getting used to the way the car looks from the front and the updated model. Personally, I think I prefer this pre-facelifted model much more. And also with the updated model, they're getting rid of the V6 engine, so it'll just be the EcoBoost and the GT. But I must say, overall, I love this car, and hopefully one day I'll get to drive one. But right now, I'm just so happy that I've got the EcoBoost and the GT finally reviewed and on my YouTube channel. So let's just go ahead and hop outside. Of course, there's so much history and heritage with the Mustang. I think when people think of American muscle, this is probably the car that comes to mind. And don't get me wrong, the Americans have made some amazing muscle cars over the years. You got the Chevy Camaro, for example, and many others, but I think the Mustang really stands out the most. I think it stands out as the definitive American muscle car. Well, that's my personal take on it anyway. I think some people will have different opinions on what muscle car they prefer most of all, but for me, Mustang GT, absolutely love it. Looks fantastic, and as I said, it's great to see them finally here in Europe. I think the starting price for Mustang GT in Ireland is now about €72,000, so it even costs less than the equivalent BMW M3 or M4 or AMG Mercedes. So it's very good value for your money, and I think the EcoBoost Mustang is about €55,000 or thereabouts. And also, just before we end the review, we have another blue Mustang GT here. I think it looks fantastic in this colour. Even though red is my favourite colour and I would definitely be the kind of guy that will buy a red Mustang, I like this blue so much I think I would actually buy this over the red one. Now this car is also an automatic, and we also have another red GT just sitting over there with a 6-speed manual transmission. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed this full net review of the 2016 Ford Mustang GT Fastback. Please remember to rate, comment and subscribe, and please stay tuned, plenty more videos to come. Thanks for watching everyone.